Good morning, y'all. Happy Monday. Happy Monday. It's Alicia, and I am on at my usual time, maybe an hour late or so, because I've been working on my crafty work list that I started yesterday and just running through it and making sure I'm all organized. I got to start off with Judy, my scrapbook loft, because she did an upload of VR for her swap because it's her first time swapping. I totally forget this with Judy because she's such an expert crafter who's been crafting for like 20 years. So I forget that she has not been part of the swapping community. So she was so nervous. She did a VR and she's like, guys, did I do this wrong? Is this okay? Judy, you did everything right. It's totally right. I'll just go over the rules again for Holy Swappers and also just to help people out in general. So when you're doing a swap group, let's say there's 5 people in your group. You make up 5 packages. The item you make should be identical, right? So that everyone gets the same thing. And then sometimes, like if you saw Cruz's embellishment box, sometimes she'll tailor, if she knows the person very well, she might change some of the wrapping to tailor it to the person. So for instance, I'll give you an example of that. For my swap packaging, I hauled from the dollar store here this really cute tassel for everybody. And it's part of my packaging. But in most of the case, I got pink. But I know that Cruz loves tan and yellow. And they had a really nice tan one. And that's one of her other favorite colors. So Cruz's is tan. They're all the same tassel, but Cruz's is tan. There's an example. So each package is pretty much the same that I created, but the one tassel is a different color because I know that Cruz loves tan. And they happen to have a tan tassel. They don't usually have tan here, but they had tan this one time. Again, I'm going to remind you, because we wanted to include so many international participants, goodies are not necessary. It's always nice to get a goodie, but it's not mandated. And that's especially because the international folks can't send them. They just can't. The mail costs are too high as it is. What they're paying to send us a small thing, we can pay to send out a small box. So I didn't want them to do any goodies just because I'm concerned about postal costs. But that said, I know many of you contacted me and said, but I still want to send them a goodie. That's okay. I'm sending some goodies too. But actually from here, I'm not going to give it away, but I'm sending a select amount of goodies. And then I also sent everybody something a different way. So it's kind of complicated. Of course it is, because it's Alicia and you know, the Middle East made it complicated because that's where I put all this together. Anyway, so Judy, you did a great job. And I think this was helpful for everybody to know that when you're doing a swap group, you try to create 5 identical packages or however many are in your group. Some of our groups have less than 5. So, you know, 5 items you create, 5 little goodies. You wrap them up in 5 packagings, right? Make it look cute and send it off. So Judy, you did great. And I thought it was very sweet that you made that. I totally forget, because you're such an expert level crafter, that you're new to the whole swapping game. So that was helpful, wasn't it, folks? That was super helpful. I have some crafty admin to do today because we do have prize packs to send out and I got to check in with some of our folks. But I also have a bunch of little crafty administration to take care of outside of that. And I have a whole bunch of little things to take care of. So I'm crafting today, but I'm also doing crafty admin. So it's a mix of both. It's a mix of both. So I wanted to come on and say, hey y'all, happy Monday. Happy Monday. Don't know what your day is looking like. I know lots of you are working on great projects. I just took a look at Sharingmoore's. She just did a VR for a challenge, but it's super Falloween and it's so cute. It's super cute. I love those little envelope enclosures she makes to send things out. And I'm actually going to do a test run to see if I can make one without having a die for it here. Because I brought very few dies here, and as we know, I'm almost out of paper, but I'm thinking that I might be able to, with some of my scraps, make one of those envelope enclosures with an accordion, not using a die. We'll see how it turns out. You know me and my prototyping, you just never know, folks. Sometimes it turns out, and sometimes it's a messy mess. Oh, yes, it is. So I'm going to try my hand at one of those today just to see how it turns out. And I got to put a few finishing touches on this week's project for Spectacular Halloween. You know, every week from now on, I'm bringing you a more complicated project and a mini. So the more complicated projects really did take a lot of time to build because I was doing them while doing other things like Donna's entry or something for Joanne and so forth. So I like bringing you 2 styles of projects for this so that some people who have a lot more time or who like to craft over a period of time have a project, and people who like to do something in one night have a project, or who only have time because they're working, you know, can do it in a night. So I have a little bit more work to do on that, and then I'll make my video so it's up early and I get that off to Michelle. and then I'm moving forward. Oh, yes, I am. And I'm packing in between all that. So there's lots happening here. Lots. We're all keeping our eye on that hurricane. We are all keeping, and we're getting some mixed reports right now about when it's landing, where it's landing, is it slowing down enough that it's going to deflate? We have no idea. So all of our eyes and ears are listening for that. I know I'm sure watching that very carefully and thinking about all of our friends, all of our crafty friends who are in the direct line. So let's keep everybody in our thoughts. Let's keep our eyes and ears on the news, and let's hope that everyone comes out of this fine. Right? Let's hope so. All right, folks, I'll be back on later today. Hope whatever you're doing today, that it involves some crafting. And I also hope that whatever you do gives you a little bit of joy. Just a little bit of joy. I'm going to go for my usual walk and coffee later this afternoon, as you all know. That's how I take my break. Plus, it helps all my autoimmune joints, to go take a walk every day. So it's like a combination of looking after myself emotionally and physically when I do that walk. Plus, sometimes I get a few crafty treats while I'm out. Oh, yes, I do. I'll be back on later. Take good care of yourself and have a wonderful Monday. Happy Monday. Happy Monday.